want you to heat yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet.
What's up, y'all? I'm Royale, and I'm from the hood, straight from the trenches. But I'm here to give y'all historical facts that y'all may not have knew about.
Message!
Ghetto? From the trenches? It's almost like I'm saying it on purpose to fit in, right? Or to go against something. I'll explain later. But before I do, let me tell you, right? 3 things happen, especially within black people, when they heard me say ghetto. Number 1, indifference. Probably didn't even care. 2, probably made you want to listen. You might be from the trenches, you might be from the hood, and due to the tone of my voice and how I talk, it's probably familiar to what you grew up with. And thirdly, you probably were bothered. Oh, ghetto. But I ain't mad, nor do I even care that you upset. I get it. I totally get it, right? See, I like to focus on the why, not the what. Why are you saying what you're saying, not what you're saying? That feeling you had came from somewhere. And that's part of the history lesson, right? And I told y'all I was gonna tell y'all why I was just randomly saying I'm from the trenches and ghetto, because it's representation. I'm sorry, and I'm not gonna go back because I don't feel like editing that. Representation. The action of speaking or acting on behalf of someone or the state of being so represented, right? So I'm trying to let y'all know I represent the ghetto. So let's break it down before we get into the history lesson. The action of speaking or acting on behalf of someone. So when I go outside, I'm a representation of what? My family, my surname, my children, my legacy, my wife, right? Okay, the action of speaking or acting on behalf of someone, right? So we got that down packed. So the next part is, or the state of being so represented. So what that means is, I'm black, right? So say Lamar Jackson wins a 3rd MVP in a Super Bowl. He'll be the first black person to ever do that, right? So regardless if I know Lamar Jackson or not, I would take favor in that, right? Because he's from a similar environment, and if not for nothing else, even if he wasn't from a similar environment, he's still black. That's the other side of representation. So let me add context to this picture you're looking at right now, because this is actually the primary reason why I wanted to make this video on a topic I'm gonna speak about. So I commented under a post that was speaking about jersey sales, and Shedeur Sanders was top 5. So for him to be a rookie and a 3rd string, and especially fall into the 5th round, you know, if you know, you know. I hate that saying, right? So played out. However, he's still top 5 in jersey sales. So I'm like, we support our own, because a negative stereotype is what? We don't support our own. And his response was, and might I add, said so elegantly, please stop with that race shit. Why do you motherfuckers do that every fucking time? I'm gonna be honest, any man using exclamation points after they say something after a cuss word just can't fight to me. I'm just saying on some sad note type of vibe. You know, I'm still gonna teach y'all the history lesson. I'm just saying on some sad note stuff. I don't think he fights good enough to be talking to people like that. But he said it nonetheless. And what confused me the most was, he said, why do you motherfuckers do that every fucking time?
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
I was flabbergasted, befuddled, confused, led astray, muddled, bewildered, disorientated, addled, hazy, and woolly, and whatever other synonym you want to use for how I felt when he said that. But I know why he said it. People like him have fell victims to a system to where it allows them to act a certain way. And I know what y'all thinking, and no, he's not an Uncle Tom. Maybe Sambo would be the correct term, but this is actually a perfect segue for why I'm making this video. I'm gonna be speaking about the Southern strategy. Now, for those who heard about it already, you understand how devastating it could be to the black community. And for those who don't know, you may have fell victim to repeating racist dog tropes and dog whistles. I said dog tropes, goddamn. Racist tropes and dog whistles that were created by the Southern strategy. So although Uncle Tom cabin, it predates the Southern strategy, I feel like it laid the groundwork for the ideologies to be spread to black people. And Uncle Tom is the first person that comes to mind. Because y'all would call, say, Jason Whitlock, Candace Owens, Officer Tatum, you would call these people Uncle Toms, right? When, truthfully, Uncle Tom was actually based on a real life man named Josiah Henson, Reverend Josiah Henson, I apologize. So look, he convinces his wife, right? Like, look, man, this ain't it. I don't know what we're gonna do, but freedom is something we need, it's something we want, it's something we deserve. So he convinced her to escape with him and their children and they built a knapsack big enough to fit their two smallest children, and the oldest children, they just walked with their mom. So in 1830, they embarked on the long and grueling road from Kentucky to Canada. Sad note, that's insane. That's insane. They built men different back in the day. I don't even want to walk to the front of my damn house to get my son from the bus stop. My feet be hurting. So shout out to him. We soft in 2025 for sure. So he finally arrives in Canada, works on the farm, works really hard, and in 4 years, or at least by 1834, he had saved enough money to actually build a black settlement for where black slaves can come and have resources and be free and be safe. So how he became this boogeyman of white love and self-hate is because of whitewashing. So after Harriet Beecher Stowe, that's the author of Uncle Tom's Cabin, released her book, white people were upset. They felt like his description was false and that it made them uncomfortable. First of all, let me say about Uncle Tom. He was martyred in the book. He became a martyr because he was beat to death because he refused to tell on 3 women that escaped slavery, 3 black women that were trying to escape the plantation. And the reason why he was known to become Uncle Tom because, okay, so we gotta understand when this book was written, right? The book was written in 1851. This was before Malcolm X. This was before the Black Panther Party. This was before, or as I'm sure COINTELPRO would say, the radicalized Negro. He became an Uncle Tom, or it became negative because when they were trying to escape, he was passive. He was on some trying to stay type shit. So that kind of got perversed. But racist whites had issues with the book because it actually showed the real that was going on with chattel slavery at the time. See, the understanding was that slavery, and this is true, you can look it up. People, and I use the term people in this context loosely, people who were pro-slavery didn't like that it showed the real about slavery. So they will argue, people who were pro-slavery, they will argue that the working conditions were better for slaves in the South than it was for industrial workers in the North. And I guess warehouses were dangerous, but I would be disingenuous if I didn't state that going to a job that you chose to go to and dying by accident because your workplace is so dangerous is totally different than being separated from your family, being sold, beaten, and ostracized just as a people. We were treated maybe 5 levels better than cattle. So just like now, they did back then, the media painted us in a bad light. Imagine, this is just a book. He's not even real. And they were upset about it. And they put us all this propaganda downplaying his character. And here's the sick part. Whenever you see Jason Whitlock, Candace Owens, Officer Tatum, whoever these 2 big swole motherfuckers is, they call them Uncle Toms. And that bothers me, because if they tricked us into believing that Uncle Tom was bad, what else they tricking us about? But don't even trip. I got you. And really, it don't matter if you're from the ghetto or the trenches, or even if you believe what I'm saying is wrong and you think black people do complain too much if we playing victims. I just challenge you to listen. Let's have a conversation. But let me give you my evidence first. Part 1 of the Southern Strategy. Part 2 of the Southern Strategy, I'm on his ass. I'm gonna be on his ass like white on him. But this is Lee Atwater, the curator of the Southern Strategy and who actually bought the Republican Party damn near half a century of success because they was failing. But I'll catch y'all next time.